Hello, everybody. How's it going? Welcome in. How's everybody doing? We are going to be working on deadlift today. It's been a little while. Yeah, I've got a bunch of features ready to go, so we're just gonna probably be focusing on like fixing up a couple little minor things and then update time, hopefully. I'm not gonna push the update on stream because whenever I do, it freezes and kills the stream, so I think it would just be better not to. But yeah. Anyways, let's start in just a second. Give me just a moment. Okay. TikTok stuff. All right, anyways. So let's go ahead and jump into it. All right. So one of the last things I have been working on is the trading mechanics of Trader. So if we go into that, you can see. And they're basically, I implemented a screen that shows all the different trades, so we're just gonna make it so it works code-wise. And yeah. These errors. Oh yeah, that's nothing. Now it does start with this, but I think once we actually visit a trader, it doesn't. No. Hold on. What is going on here? So set up local to scene. That's the elevator. Let's go into world. I should have like a sub viewport in there or something. Yeah, right here, shop screen. It does have static on it right now. Shader parameters. This is the viewport texture. I'm not sure why it's not displaying it. New viewport texture. And then we're gonna pick shop screen. Okay, now it's fine. A little weird. I don't like how it just spontaneously goes away. Yeah, we'll see about that. Might have to do a different method where I think I can, there's a function I can call on a sub viewport. That's like get something texture, the type of viewport. Yeah, get texture, and then it just returns a viewport texture. So that's probably going to be better. But if it disconnects again, we'll do that. All right, so we got some static on here. Which I think is this. So somewhere in here, I'm saying on. Or if I do the shop stuff, or I think it's inside of the shop script, maybe. Maybe I don't actually have that set up yet. Oh, I should. I've wants grid, give grid. So it deletes everything in those. Maybe I just don't have the code set up for adding them right now. I thought I did. Am I a little bit crazy? Let's load into the game and just make sure. Make sure I'm crazy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's still doing that, which is not good. Okay, what we're gonna do instead, I think. We've got the screen over here. I'm gonna remove that texture. And we're gonna set it to off by default. And then when we set up a shopkeeper, I need to get a reference to that. Okay. That's var screen. Oops. Then we're gonna modify that. So screen dot screen texture. And that's a surface override material index 1. Oh yeah, I have to say like get surface override material 1 dot shader parameter. I think that'll work. And then we're gonna say on, just set to true. We're just gonna start with that. See what happens. Hey, welcome in. Having a good day today? It's going good. We're just working on some trading stuff in Deadlift right now. Just want to get this screen working. Looks like it did work. So now the next thing is this. We're going to say material dot screen textures equal to. Then we're going to get the shop screen sub viewport. Get viewport texture. So that should return our texture, hopefully. I'm gonna make sure I'm calling the right function. Get, oh, it's just get texture. But anyways, how are you doing? Let's go try this out. Hopefully it works. One day, whatever loads, okay. Game. And it died. Oh, I don't know why I said that. Okay, but apparently this one returned void. That's not true. Oh, but I'm saying set shader parameter. Duh. And then also this one also has to be a shader parameter. So screen texture, then that one. All right, let's try this again. Hopefully it works. Now we'll wait. Whew. All right. We will load into the game and try it out. Still don't know why I can see that weird little like curve. I don't know where that's coming from. I guess it's just a reflection, but okay, so it did turn it on, but I don't think it properly set the stuff in here. Because this I should have gotten a texture, and then it should have passed it over into that other node. We can open that node up in here. Go into the elevator. Where that is. There it is. then check and see what it actually has attached to it. So it has this object, but screen texture is still null. Which is a little odd. Not sure why. Maybe I just named it wrong. Oh, it's with an underscore. Let's try this again. Alexa, fan on. All right. Third time, or maybe the fourth, I don't remember, is the charm. Okay. It's off. If I hit this, boom. Once and kills. Okay. So we're good there. So now all we have to do is just update the screen with the items. And then, yeah. Perhaps we'll be gaming. So, for and we can like figure out what all these things are. Then this one is just choosing from my choose weighted shop data.trade. So let's copy that. Hey, Brownhounds, welcome in. How are you doing? Shoot, I messed everything up. Okay, it's gone, I guess. For oops. For trade and shop data trades. Let's go look at what that is. Because now the shopkeepers need to change just a little bit. Well, cool, good to hear. Yeah, we're just working on some deadlift today. I'm getting some new trading mechanics finalized, and then we're just gonna keep working away at stuff. So trades here are the things that they take. I'm gonna change this around though, because there's input item. So I want input and output. So these are both output, and then we're gonna have input. And basically the way it's going to work is anything in input can be traded at any time. So like the metal head item, metal scrap, and maybe like a couple other random things. We'll see. And what I'm gonna do on these two is possibly have like a big list of items that can be traded and make it random. So metal scrap, I want there to be a very high probability. Just so that we definitely get it. Then we can just start throwing in a bunch of random items. Then here he definitely wants wood. Is it wood scrap or wooden scrap? Wood scrap. And then other items he could give or take. I don't know, maybe like a note. Maybe they both potentially take knowledge away from you. It'd be a nice, like, because if you already have a note or something, you can use it. So those. What else would be good? Maybe probably just basic supplies, like water. Like maybe some kind of food, like their favorite snack. The metalhead probably would like sour candy and then also energy drinks. And then the lumberjack, isn't there like maple syrup or something, or maybe almond milk for his drink and then for his food? Let's go look at the items again. Compass, flashlight, scrap. Maybe a hot dog. He's like a wood guy, so. He'd probably be into meat. Meat on the bone. All right. So we should be good to go then. And one thing that's a little stupid is they both have the exact same trades right now, and I don't really want that to be the case. I'm gonna potentially have a trade for like maybe equipment even, like a scrap shield, just like one, and maybe make it a little more rare. And then also like we want to do maybe, let's see here. Will be another good potential output item. Maybe let's do this for the lumberjack. Now like chalk or something, but we'll probably change that eventually. You can give meaty Caesar nut butter. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, also maybe potentially stuff like bandages, right? Probably be a good idea. Maybe that. What else would work good for her? Also, another thing potentially is more metal scrap, I realize. Like, I want people to be able to get that item. And then this one's metal scrap. All right. So that should be it. Now back into here. So this is going to be looping through. We don't want trades anymore. Input. We're going to say wants grid dot push back. Hopefully it'll be add child. Then how do we have it set up right now? Is there any weird settings on these guys? Kind of. I'm just gonna save this as a scene and call this our grid texture rect or something. So var textures preload grid texture rect instantiate, then texture. Let's say var item data items table dot get trade dot or trade at index 0. Oh, and also we have to, I realized that we have to do this like, let's see how we want to do this. I'm going to do this, and then we're going to choose a random amount of items. So for I in range, let's try 4 times. So we're going to say var item is equal to whatever it was. Shop data dot input. And then we're going to say global dot choose weighted. So that'll just pick a random entry inside of here. Then item data is going to be our item. Has to be item index 1. All right, so now that we instantiate the texture on that, we set to item data dot sprite, and then we add the texture child. That should be it. And then I also want to say, I guess we don't really need these input things and stuff. Well, no, I do. Because we need to know what can be traded. All right. So I'm going to actually make a list here. Input items, an array of strings. Array of strings. And then over here, I'm going to do a similar thing. Range 4. Going to copy the same code. Oh, excuse me. All right. I'm actually just going to... And now we do the same exact thing over here. So we get that, set the texture, but now we add this to the gives grid, and then we push back item to output items. All right. So that's set up right there. We should be good to go. Now, when a body enters over here, we don't do this. We say if let's just make a function R contains item. Then we'll pass in the array item ID, return a bool. So for I an array, if I and index 1 is equal to item ID, return true, otherwise return false. So now we can say if R contains item body dot item ID. We have to pass in our input items like that. So this one where we choose, that one's fine because we like pre-select one, but now we need to figure out the code down here. We have choose shop item. So now what we're gonna do is do this. We're not going to do choose weighted loot on that one. It's going to be on what our current output items are. So we do that. We set it to that. And I don't even think I have a current trade node, do I? Oh, no, I do. So I think this should all work now. Hopefully. Let's try it out. So you should take in random items, give random items back. And it'll show like a list of the potential items they can give. Oops. All right. And it died. Because there's no such thing as shop input ID anymore. And now everything is broken. Also, yeah, this is now... I had to change this string here. Shops open for business. Take a look at your screen. Do that. Get rid of input item. Okay, let's try this again. Yo, what's up, Zach? Welcome in. Delivery. Oh, yeah? Hold on. Hey, yo, let's go. Yeah, we can work on adding that in just a second here. I'm just getting the shop screen set up. So let's test it out. Boom. Still died. I couldn't get index 1 on base array. Did I mess something up with output items? Should just return back the whole array. Not a bit peculiar. Why would that be invalid? A little weird. Choose way to... Oh, I might be calling that before I do the other stuff. That's what's happening here. All right. Let's try this again. This will work. Maybe. It might not. But it'll probably work. Maybe. Maybe not. It'll be fine. Okay. Send once, send twice. No, it still didn't work. Output items. Why is it bad? What is output items right now? Apparently it's an empty string, so that's not supposed to happen. I don't know why it's an empty string. Shop data, shop B. Why is it empty? It's a little weird. Shop data dot input and output. It should have pushed that item back. Input items. A little bit strange. I'm gonna print stuff in here just to make sure it's working. I don't know what's going on with that. I'll put all those sounds in the game here in just a second. Should be pretty easy. I'm just gonna have a big dictionary of all the characters, I guess. Yeah, what is going on? It's still just passing in an empty array. I don't know what the deal is. Shop data. What is shop data? You can see all the input and output items right there. So it's a little weird. I mean, we getting item data and stuff. Textures, item data, sprite, because otherwise it would crash right here, so it should be fine. Did it print our things? Yeah, it printed 8 times, so that is working. I just don't know why it's not pushing it back. Input items. Oh, is it because I typed it as an array of strings? Should be an array of arrays now. Probably what's going on, maybe? Let's see. Sometimes statically typing is actually bad. It should have just thrown an error, though. It's weird that it didn't. Okay, well, we got more info here now. Set sprite on a base object of type null. Apparently this is null. Oh no, item data is null. So what is item? Okay. So it did return that. Oh, it's probably because I misspelled homunculus. Yeah, I did. That will be why. Let's go fix this. Okay. 20th time's the charm, guys. We got this. Alright, let's see what happens. Hold on, gamers, 1 second. Okay. It's looking good. It is doing duplicate items, though. I have to have a check for that. Let's go fix that. shop. And then if there's an item that we've already gotten right here, we don't want to do it again. So if output items dot has item 1 or has item, then continue. And same with up here, input items has item. Let's try this again. 30th time's the charm. All right. Let's see. All right, so now it's all unique items, so that's good. So he wants wood, meat, and water. So let's try it out. I want to give him something that he normally doesn't take. So water. Yeah, so it worked, and he gave chalk. It shows like his next item he's about to give right over there. So give nut butter. Oops, that's the thing he's gonna give me. Get some wood scrap. There we go. Yeah, so this will work, I think. And it's weighted, so I can choose like equipment to be more rare and stuff if I want. But I think this will probably work out. Now I can just like trade multiple items. So I could have any of these 3 items to get any of these. I'm not like locked into just one specific item that he needs, which is good. So I think this will work. And then as soon as we go to sleep or whatever, it should, screen should go away. Okay, I haven't set up code for that. Let us do that. All I need to do is just say set shader to invisible. It's wherever the shop goes away. I guess it's inside of my world script. Or it's like set shop open or something. Search for shop. Oh, toggle shop. Yeah, it does all this stuff. It really shouldn't do all this stuff in here. Should just call that on the child node, but well, no, it's gonna be annoying if I don't do that there. Okay. Then what do I do if shop status changed? Is that even anything? Okay, I just connect it to itself, so it just seems a little stupid. I'm going to call this now on shop dot set. I'll just say toggle and open. Yo, Sheik, what's up? Welcome in. How's it going? So now I don't need to connect that random signal and stuff. All right, so function toggle open bool. And this has a shop open variable, but it's just used in here, so let's get rid of it. So if open is equal to shop open return, because it's already set to what it is. Otherwise we set shop open to that. There is all the door tweens. We're gonna have to redo those, I guess. Don't care about omitting that anymore. So now on here we just want to say set shopkeeper. Then what do we do here? Shop data. Or I must set it somewhere in here. Oh, right here. Oh, so I actually call that before anything, which is interesting. So in here, if toggle, we're gonna do this. Set shopkeeper IDs. And we're gonna also move this over. I don't want to put everything in one script. All the shop stuff goes into the shop script. Shopkeeper IDs. All right. So now I pick one of those random ones, and then all the shop door tweens and stuff. We have to get those as well. That should basically be it. There's a couple minor things we're gonna have to tweak. Like there's no shop door start. So we have to grab that. Save it. Go back into here. Alright, so we got shop door start now. We'll set the global position. So this we have to say that. And I guess do this. Oh. Oh. No good, sir. Was out of the game. Yeah, elevator, shop door. Okay. Okay. Now we should be good. What's up, Bobby? What are we? Human beings, I hope. How's it going? I already called said shopkeepers to get rid of that. What was the signal that I had in here? Because I don't think it was what I thought it was. I think it might have been that other one, or like check status. Let's just go look at what I changed. Refreshing. So it should be inside of world.gd. Well, no, really, it's inside of shop.gd. It was check shop status, yeah. So we're just gonna call it at the end of here now. Check shop status, whether we're open or not. Easy. Okay, I think everything should be good. We do all the tween stuff now. Some of this, though, we can simplify. Like this, we can just say dialogue. That's equal to shop data. Get voice pitch. This door open, shop light. Eliminate all these extra path things. I don't know if we have a reference to any of those. We don't really need to, but we do have a reference to our dialogue node, though. I think we should be okay. We should just do that inside of set shopkeeper. Yeah, that should work. Okay. Getting there. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Yeah, elevator, planes. That's all good. Hopefully it works. Position. Okay, and then what was the thing I was even like checking? I don't even remember. They don't do trade item anymore. Oh, should be good to go. Get rid of these. Oh yeah, turning off the thing. Totally forgot. So now I can set this to off on this one. We say that on becomes false. Then mat, should be able to just do that from the beginning. It's called var screen mat. Shader material. And then, screen mat is that. And I guess I also need to get screen then. Right here. Okay. Settle these to screen mat. We finally done? Will it all finally work? Let's find out. Then we'll start working on the voice stuff. Okay. So nothing, and then now shop is active, wants and gives. Let's give myself a note. Just make sure it works. I got a little baby. I got metal scrap back for that. So yeah, sometimes you can get a pretty good item out of this. I do want the traders to be worthwhile, so... yeah, so I think we're good to go. And then as soon as we sleep, that's the other thing, we should see it. Oh. It set him for like the next time. It doesn't matter because you're not going to see that before the door closes or whatever, but it's kind of interesting. The Tree of Wisdom. Oh. Hello, big guy. I wonder how scary playing Deadlift for the first time is, you know? Because, like, obviously I know all the guys and everything, so when I see a big robot, it doesn't mean anything to me. But I wonder if to somebody else it's like, oh my god, he's gonna kill me, you know? I have no idea. That's the one thing that I'll never understand. Oh. As a, as the developer, is how it actually feels to play the game for the first time, right? Oh. Is there no water in here? Should be. Hold on. There's gotta be water. Plastic. There must be water. Wood. Where's the water? No water. Plastic. Scrap. There should be, if my code is working, at least one thing of water, but I just don't see it anywhere. It must have been that... No, it just didn't spawn one. Pepperoni pizza, electronic scrap, lollipop, wood scrap. Ooh. It's not supposed to happen. Maybe what happened was that the food count was so high or something that it just spawned a bunch of food. and then it didn't get time to spawn the other thing. But if it started spawning in all the scrap and stuff, it should have spawned in the okay, water. That's not what I want. Get random item right here. So what happened here? So get random item. It should say figure out what's water and what's food. Okay. Oh, what? And false. Okay, I think I had a thing where I was testing and then got rid of that temporarily. Okay, it should work now. That's a little interesting. Let me make sure that it works. You can see what it spawned down here. Yeah, so it just spawned food. 2 food, 2 water. And it said 7 items spawned. But it doesn't look like 7 items down there. Pizza. It's a very small map. Water, nut butter. Yeah, it only spawned those 4. So why is it saying 7 items spawned? That's a little weird. Oh yeah, we can get rid of that now. Just want to make sure this is all working, because, bro. Shut up, brother. Let's find where it says items spawned. Oh, that just shows how many nodes are in the items group, which is just wrong. Kind of funny. Because that's not true. Okay. I could be more accurate with it, but nah. Just want to make sure. Do another run through. There is technically a chance that like tables and stuff just don't spawn and you wouldn't get any items, but I think the odds of that are pretty low. There's plenty of food and stuff in here. So yeah, really the first couple levels you start out with is mainly just food, and then you start getting scrap and stuff like that. And you can also trade food in early if you want. So it's kind of like a, you know, you can trade away food if you want. It's probably not a good idea, but it's an interesting kind of balancing thing though, I think, because you could be like, all right, like a new player trades in some food and gets a cool item, or like you can, like, I don't know, if you want, if like one of the things that you're struggling with the most is like your survivability versus your hunger and thirst, you can purposely trade in your food to make equipment, right? At the cost of making food more difficult. I think it could be neat. All right, let's go. That's why I wanted the trader to be better, because I want the process of trading to be a little bit more involved. All right. So yeah, I guess let's go ahead and do the voice stuff now. The shopkeepers seem to be working. Let's do that. So we should have a bunch of files in here. That should all work. So I just have to put all these in, and then it's going to take a while, but I can procedurally generate these by just looping through the file. So maybe I might do that. But I think I can't access res after it's been exported or something, so I better just do it the right way. Oh, this is gonna take a billion years, huh? Is there any other better way to do this? Let's look here. I guess I could just load the file and just assume instead of preloading everything. But you're playing them so fast, if I don't preload them, I think it's going to be really slow. I could probably generate the list. So let's go into global, and we're just going to create a temporary list. Yeah, there should be a ready event. Yeah. So we'll call this var voices. And we'll call this test mail. Okay. And why is this? Oh, this has to be a dictionary. There we go. So now for in voices, we're going to say voices at index voice ID. And then now I need to say dot set and loop through all of our things. So we need to get all of our characters and all of our numbers. So I'm gonna make another array called cars. And then for in range 26, whatever. I know there is, how can we convert this character, and then I can use yeah, ASCII codes to get all the different characters. So what do we start at? But this is different. 65 prints. Interesting. Let's get the list of Unicode characters. Basic Latin. Okay. So, interesting. So let's start at 65. And then end at 90. Now we can convert that code into a character. Hey, first up, Yelp review. Welcome in. How's it going? How are you doing? And then now what I'm going to do is just say cars dot push back car. All right, so we got all of the alphabetical letters. Now we need to do the numbers. So we go from 48 to 57. Good, thanks. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I'm doing good too. We're just working on some deadlift stuff today. I'm currently getting some stuff set up so we can do a more interesting form of voice lines for characters and stuff in the game. It'll be kind of interesting, I think. I got to get all the stuff configured for it, but essentially what it'll be is kind of like how Animal Crossing does voices. So it should be cool. Basically, all the characters are mapped to a sound. So as they're talking, like if they say the letter A anywhere in their dialogue, it plays the sound clip for the letter A. like this.
Oh.
Oh. We'll see how it works out. I'm just getting the I'm just going through and looping through the ranges of characters I want instead of manually writing out A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, you know, because that would take a million years. So I'm just looping through characters A to Z, all the numbers, and then what we're going to do right here is say set, we're going to say for character and characters, set it to that, and then what is this language called? Or this, like, what I'm writing in, like the programming language, or the sounds that we're gonna do. Then what's next here? The sounds, yeah. In Animal Crossing, it's called Animalese. So I think it's basically that. Humanese. Yeah. Say, Steven, welcome in. How's it going? And then we're just gonna say load. So now we have to craft a string. So the way we're gonna do this is, and we have to include all the other stuff. So res, sounds, effects, voices. Let's say the format. So we say 0 for the ID, and then this for the character, .ogg. So now we're going to pass in the voice ID, and then also the character. So hopefully this works. I don't know what the error is here. Let's see. For iterator variable character. Oh, I can't call it character. That's fine. I can, but I don't want errors. Okay, so we should have the list of all of our sound bites now. So I think the next thing is just playing all the sounds now. I already have this dialogue node in here. So we can just use this again and kind of modify our talking node. So I guess the way that I'm going to do this, I'm just thinking here, because there's all this stuff where we say set text and it's a lot. I guess we'll go through character by character, which is actually what we're doing already in here. Because we're getting it from length. So I just want to get the last character and set text. So I want to say like speech label dot text dot last. How do I get the last character? I'm sure there's probably a built-in function for it, but maybe not. Find right. I mean, it's fine. We'll just do a substring. So we're going to do substring of from the length of this to the length of this. But I guess -1 on the first one. So then we can say var character is that. And then now we're going to say talking.stream is equal to global.voices at index test mail at index character. And then say talking dot play. I don't care about the speech player right now. I guess that's what our speech player is. So we'll just reference it as this. And okay, I do call stop there. It doesn't really matter, but we'll just keep it there for now. All right, hopefully this works. I don't. What's the issue? Because I said character. All right. Let's see what happens. This might not work at all. The last character of the word is what determines what sound to make. It'll be the last character just that has been displayed, not necessarily in the word, if that makes sense. So it's going to loop through all the characters in the text, and then every single character it plays a sound. Hold on. I can't hear it over all the music and stuff. Yeah, I should be playing every character. Let's listen again. I couldn't hear it. I think I just did the same sound. That's interesting. Maybe the way I do the player stuff is not the same, but I thought I just used the dialogue node. Player dialogue. Oh yeah, I use a different node. Okay, I'm gonna add this dialogue node into here then. Just so we have a standard node for everything. Now we have an ad going on. I will respond back to everything after the ad is over. Yeah, so this one has like a label and stuff. I don't want the label to be visible. So we're just going to say speech label.visible is equal to show label. And we're going to export that. Let's type bool. It's true. All right. So in the player, on our dialogue, I don't want the label shown. Gotta wait for the ads. Then we got speak. So the way that I'm going to do speak now is like all this stuff. Probably. Because that's what I'm doing over here. There's a couple extra things that I need to do, but I guess when I call speak, I'll also just call... So get rid of player dialogue, all that stuff. And then just say dialogue dot speak whatever our text is. So this should just kind of emulate it. We'll see what happens here. I don't know if this is going to work. All right, ads are over. Sorry about that. Welcome in Clover. Did I make this game? Yes, I did. Yeah. This is Deadlift. It's a horror game. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Of course, I've ran the command there. Sorry, I made this back in 08, yeah. Let's go into the game now and see what happens. Okay. So it couldn't get the character F, apparently. I don't know why. What's inside of voices? Okay, it doesn't show. So what happened here? Let's see. Voices of voice ID set to... Oh. I think I messed up. Let's try this again. One final try. Come on. Come on. Don't die. There we go. Alrighty. Still dying. Now it says N can't be accessed for some reason. Make sure I'm doing it right. I'm going to print out every character that we loop through in here, just to make sure that it's working. And let's see what happens. should print. Okay, so when A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. It didn't include the last letter. That's a bug. Just because it goes in range, so we have to increment that, and then I think 58 on this. Okay. Let's try this again. Let's see, by the way, alerting kind of works on Steam Deck. The A, B, X, Y buttons don't work. That's odd. Why would that not work? I wonder if it's because what's happening is I haven't marked that Lured In actually supports controller in Steam. So the Steam Deck is probably defaulting to like mapping things to keyboard and mouse, is my guess. It's not treating it as a controller game. So what I need to do is go into the settings of the game and actually like mark it as having controller support. And I think then it'll automatically go into it. Hopefully. Yeah, in the future, I'm going to get it set up with Steam, the Steam API stuff, so I can check whether you're running on Steam Deck or not, and hopefully that'll also help. I still don't know why this is. Oh, it's because these characters are lowercase. That's what's happening. I have to say to upper. Let's try this again. And also, I have to just say if it doesn't exist, then I don't care. Yeah, I'll make some changes to that. Hopefully we can get that working as intended. Come on. Okay. So let's set this to, yeah, C to upper, and then we're going to say .get C to upper. And then just say var sound is that if sound, set the stream and play. Let's try this. Also says it's a playtest and cloud saves aren't on. Yeah, I haven't configured cloud saves yet. I'm gonna do that also very soon. I want to get started on some like Steam features, including like cloud saving. I need to set the controller stuff, and then also achievements eventually, and things like that. We'll be getting started on that. Whoa. So I think it did technically work, but because there's no polyphony on this sound, it just cut out all the sounds. So that is sort of something we'll have to figure out. I think what we're going to have to do is duplicate this node, this talking node, and have multiple of them so that it's able to actually play all of the sounds. And I might just need to make like a lot of them. And then we'll just say export var sound players. It's going to be an array of audio stream player 3Ds. So then we're just going to loop through and find which one can actually play it. So for I and sound players, if I dot is playing, then we can say I dot stream is sound, and I dot play. All right, so that should work there. Then we just need to assign all of the things in here. Oh yeah, can't I just do this or whatever? It's like, just drag them in. I do wish I could like select all these and then drag them in. Oh, yo, let's go. That makes it so much easier. Okay, let's try this out. So now there should be multiple audio players that can play sounds, so it should not have that issue anymore. I do want to kind of set a little bit of a limit actually though on purpose because I think it just sounds good. Let's see. All right. Whoa. That was so loud. Okay. It's a little bit funny. Let's go up to ready. I need to make it so the dialogue is all set properly. Because we have this voice pitch thing. I have to just say pitch scale is equal to voice pitch here. So that'll settle those. Get rid of the speech player node. All right. I had to finish some assignments, but later I sit down, check my controllers, and learn in Epic. Yeah, I'll try and do that soon here in just a second. How many voices do you have? Zach did all the voices. We just have one test one right now, just so we can kind of figure out how it's all going to work. But yeah, eventually we'll do more. I don't know why this one seemed to not. Oh, you know what? I think it might be getting. Perhaps the string here is not actually an individual character, and that's why it's not working. So let's print out what it's actually getting. Also, thank you for the follow. We'll start playing this music here in just a minute, but I just want to actually listen to this stuff. Does all those. Okay, no, now it's just getting nothing, so it wasn't that. Well, let's join in again. It's still so loud. We're gonna set a maximum sound on this. Was it max decibels? Set that to like -10 on all these or something. So we're not, our ears aren't bleeding. Let's try this again. And we still got to figure out why it only does 2 sounds. It goes, whoa, whoa. It doesn't actually play all of them. It makes me think that it's not actually using all the other audio players for some reason. Let me figure out why. Because whenever it does this, if sound. Oh, maybe it's because it's playing multiple of them at the same time. That could actually be what's happening. That's probably why it's so loud. Okay, it did play all of them now. So we don't need to set this max dB so high or so low now. Do that. But I think one of the issues is the sounds are too long, maybe? I mean, it's okay, but let's listen to her talk. She doesn't have like a voice pitch applied or something. Hold on. Oh yeah, also something I do actually need to do is on the dialogue node. Whenever voice pitch gets changed, we need to set it again. So we need to say function update pitch. Just call it in there. As with the graveyard keeper talking? Yeah. It is similar to that. And then we just say voice pitch is value and update pitch. She's supposed to have a higher pitched voice. We'll try this again. Come on, game. Load up. Okay. Almost sounds like she's like laughing a little bit or something. Let's see what the lumberjack sounds like. The only issue with changing the pitch on these is that it also changes the time, right? And that's a little bit of a problem. Because then like these sounds for like a guy with lower pitch sound, it gets really slow, right? So what would we do to fix that? I mean, I could directly modulate the stream or something, but that's also what happened up here? It shows no items. Does he literally have no items? What happened here? It's a little weird. One thing that's nice about this system of doing like the mapping sounds to characters is that if they say the same line, it makes the same sound. Right? Which is good. I don't know why he has no items that he wants. I don't know what happened. A little bit strange. Let me go double check all this stuff. It might actually be because I didn't clear out and set shopkeeper our input and output items. Because now they're like global things. I don't know if that's why, but let's see. So I don't really cue the sounds. What I do is I just have a bunch of audio players in here now. So if one is already playing, it just moves on to the next audio player. So we get the sounds, multiple sounds playing. I mean, I could cue it where it'll wait for the previous sound to finish playing before the next one starts. But we'll see. Alright, let's see what happens with the traders. Okay, scrap, stuff, that's good. And that's just wood. I mean, theoretically, it's possible. Let's do another shopkeeper, just to make sure it's fine. The same stuff again. It's fine. Okay, that's different stuff. I think it's okay now. Also, we should see another thing too, is the scavenger should also have a sound now. Let's go check it out. If we can find a scavenger. Oh. Yeah, it's not too bad. One guy talk. He's done. I don't think there's gonna be another guy around here. Unfortunately. The goblin. Yeah, we could do a little bit of sound queuing or have a maximum number of audio players at once, right? Or just have a minimum gap between them or something. So we could potentially do that. Set text is going to be happening every frame, I think. So it's basically like a little mini process event. So we could have like var sound gap or whatever, right? Is also something that might be happening too is it's probably still playing multiple sounds of the same character. Because I realize here is that sometimes this might return the same character that was just played, right? So I do think I need to change the way that this kind of works. And just have a rate at which each character increments instead of doing a tween necessarily, right? So let's see how we want to do this. I don't think I can await. Like, is there an await or some way I can await a signal inside of a tween? I don't think so. Call back. I guess interval would be okay. Just 1 second or something. Then we'll do that. Then now in here we can just go across. Aspect impact, thank you for the follow. So I'm not going to worry about time. And now what we're going to have is like a rate of speech. So let's think how we want to do this. I guess we'll just do whenever we call speak a timer maybe. Okay, well we could throw in a couple more things, so like var index for the character index. We could start at 0. And then maybe on this we have another timer node. We can set like the time for each character. I think the minimum we can go is 001 seconds, which should be plenty fast, I think. No, it's 005 seconds. I mean, we might want to do this like a per frame vibe, but we'll see. So just set that to auto start, connect the timeout signal. So now we can just say, whenever this happens, index plus equals 1, and then we're going to kind of change this set text function update index. So we don't have to worry about any of this stuff because now we just know exactly where our index is. So index. And then we don't even have to do any of this stuff because we can just say text at index, I think. I think I can do an index on the string. And then we do the sound. Okay. So we'll try this out. And then we only want to set this like if speaking. So whenever we do begin to speak, we say speaking is true. Otherwise, var speaking is false by default. And then as soon as we have reached the final index, that's when we say speaking is false again. I'll just say update index. And it'll increment it every time here. Okay. Now we can say, let's see. So if our index has reached our current text dot length, then we want to say speaking is false again. I think that should do it. Speaking will be true. It'll do all that stuff. And then we get the substring. All right. Now, 0.05 seconds is probably way too fast on the timer. I probably want to do something more like 0.1 seconds or 0.2. Let's just see what this feels like now. Hopefully this works. I mean, I think it will, but I don't know. Okay. Invalid index of 0 on string. I might have to do something like get. What is it? Oh, also I have to just do current text. There's got to be a way to get a character at a specific index. I mean, I can do it with substring, but like, let's find. Length. I mean, I might have to. Thought I can do the index operator. Yeah, let's try this again. Maybe I just messed up. I think it's just because this text wasn't set yet. Let's try it again. There we go. That sounded better, even though the timer is really fast. It sounds more like Animalese now. Because I think before it was playing sounds that were the same sound over and over, which is not ideal. And we can see how fast the text updates, so changing that timer should change our text updating time now. This is the only downside, though, is that we don't really get... Like, there's a maximum speed at which this text can update, right? It should be independent of frame rate, though. Like, that's as fast as it can update. And if I increase the time on this, it's going to be slower, which is not ideal. I don't want it to take too long. Wait for this to load. All right. And you can see that dialogue, the player dialogue, is not in sync with the actual dialogue, so we have to fix that. See, it's pretty slow at 0.1. So I do think 0.05 is probably going to be... Or we could go like 0.07 or something like that. Just a tiny bit slower, but I don't want it to take forever. Yeah, I do wish that I could do smaller, but then it gives you that warning. Yeah, may behave in significantly different ways depending on the rendered or physics frame rate. I mean, I think maybe it would be okay to do that. It might just like potentially slow down when you're at a really low FPS, but it'll still be fast enough. So timers can only process once per physics frame. Oh, okay. End consistently. Okay. Seems like it worked, though. I mean, it definitely did work. It's interesting that it warns you. I don't know. We'll set it to 0.05 for now, because it seems good, but it's good to know, I guess. See, I guess this is the way that we're going to do this. And I can actually estimate how long the time is precisely going to take, just depending on the length and our rate of speech. More of a disclaimer. Yeah, it's not like a hard, like, don't do it, but... So yeah, I'll set this just so we have a way to control the interval here. Move this guy up here. Okay. So update pitch is fine. So now this in here, I do want to calculate the actual time. So var time is going to be equal to current text.length times our character interval. And that's literally it. And now we have accurate timing here. And that should all be fine there. So I think this will work. And we'll get rid of the old, or we already did, yeah, so we should be good. Then we have speaking. Okay. Don't want speech player anymore. Pitch. Yeah, I need to do all this stuff on the player. because the player uses their own like dialogue system, but it's not in line with their actual sound now, which is a little bit of a problem. So I think I will do, because I have all this stuff in here, show label. I don't need to show label. I don't need to do any of this tweening. Right. Only do it if we have show label on. And then I can have a signal in here. For like character displayed, right? Then we'll pass in the character. So then over here, we'll emit that, right? Right here, character displayed. And we can also have another signal for when it's finished. So dialogue finished. And I want another function cancel dialogue, just in case I want to end it early. And we'll say speaking is false, and also dialogue finished out emit. So that should work. Okay, so now with all of that, we should be able to make it work for the player. So we can get rid of all of this stuff for the most part. So when we call speak on the player, it calls dialogue.speak. It'll show that, the modulate, the text, and we're not going to be modulating our visible ratio anymore. So I think we're just going to have a function, or I'll just do this up in here. Whenever we call speak, I'm also going to manually set our dialogue.text to empty. So ready, I'm going to say dialogue node dot character display dot connect to a function that will set our dialogue text plus equals C. So that should just start displaying all of the characters. All right. So we're not going to worry about stopping that or anything like that. All right. So we should be pretty much good to go. We're going to speak, set it back to nothing, speak what the new text is, set it to visible, set the modulate to 0, start fading it in, do all that stuff. And then whenever we hit our key to cancel it or whatever, it's just going to cancel the text. And I think I do that in process. Dismiss dialogue. So it'll say, yeah, if dialogue tween, kill it. And then I'll also say dialogue.cancel dialogue. Close dialogue. So I think that should all work. Let's try it out. So now this should be basically completely connected up to that child dialogue node, which will work better. Instead of like having its own weird mechanism for it. Oh. Apparently I did not reset the text. I don't know why. Or I might have accidentally set it initially. Oh, yeah. we're just going to set that back to the color yellow and then do that. Let's try this again. Yeah, so now that's in line with our stuff. Then also if I hit spacebar while it's still being spoken, I think I can cancel it. Yeah. Alright, I think we're good then. Then also, like, if I descend, it should say that line about the power and stuff. Alright. Yeah, I think that works. Tree of Wisdom. Ooh. Wasn't expecting it. Oh. No. Uh-oh. Okay, yeah, sometimes this happens. Something was not right. So what happened here? Out of bounds, index 21 for some reason. I'll just also have another check that returns it in case the index somehow does end up being equal to or greater than the length. Because if our length is... Well, wait. If our length is, let's say, 2. Yeah, if it's equal to 2, then we know that it's too far. Just gonna start shooting. I think she's broken now. Okay, but it seems to be working for the most part. When I say finally I found it, do I include a period on that? No. Something length of 2. Dang. Let's see, where didn't spawn any scavengers, did it? We're gonna go until we find a scavenger. See, I don't know why it says no instead of finishing it with the full saying it now. That was weird. It seemed to kind of just like randomly cut a little bit. I need to check the code I have in the scavenger and just make sure it's fine. That seemed a little broken. Dead end after dead end. See, why doesn't... Now the dialogue on them is broken. Ooh. What's going on with that? Yeah, they should have, like, said dialogue. Stop shooting me, bro. Let's go figure it out. Could be that they're, like, running the code too often or something, or, like, something weird. So you should say now. I don't know why it didn't. Okay, let's figure out how all this works. So, whenever the player is within range... If initial aggro, it just says dialogue speak. I mean, like, pretty easy and straightforward. It passes in the string. Nothing weird. And then if the aggro timer is less than 0, if we've already hit the maximum number of warnings, we attack. Otherwise, go ahead and speak another warning right here. But why is it not working? I was going to call speak. It'll say speaking is true. Current text is that. Settle our modulates. Set the text to nothing. Set the time to that. If we already have a dialogue tween, then kill it. And then if show label, which is true, it'll create it and start doing all this. So it'll start the speed. Oh, it's probably because this maybe isn't chained right here. Could be what's going on here. And that's going to do this guy. Well, no, that doesn't have to be chained for these, because it'll start immediately. That should be fine just to do that. And then this will start bringing it back from... Thank you for the bit, Bobby. Much appreciated. Then as soon as these ones are done, this will start taking the text length divided by 6. What is this? Between interval. Oh yeah, clamp between 2 and 8 seconds. Okay. I don't know why I set parallel again right here. Seems not needed. Oh, I probably say set parallel false over here or something. Right here. But then I set it back to true for these final two down here. I'm not sure. Maybe that's what's happening. Okay, no guy. Let's try again. See, I don't know why they just don't do the last character in their dialogue. It's really janky. I don't know what's happening. They'll do like a little bit. And then if I leave and come back, they should say it again. But it seems like they don't. What is his deal, bro? Oh, he has like a cooldown until he leaves or whatever. Okay, let's try it again. See, why does he just like instantly say his line? Something's not right. Then now he's just not doing anything. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm in trouble. Maybe because it doesn't do the last index or something. I don't know. It's really weird. What is going on here? Yeah, really weird. Is it because I have to say substring? Like, length. Oh, because it's going to be 1 less than what length is. So I have to say that plus 1. That's why it's not working. I don't know, music, just so I can hear the dialogue, but now that it's like, we can turn it back on. Okay, so this should fix that now, I think, but there's still some weird jank. That we gotta figure out. Got a guy. Not this time. Well, maybe. No. No. I think we can still spawn. See, he seems fine. It's weird because like his is totally normal. He talks, it starts loading in, and then after a little bit, it fades out. I don't know why the other one is so broken. Oh, never mind. I can't. I should be saying stuff right now. Really weird. What is going on? Let's go look at the code for this. So when I throw that in, you should say this, right? Dialogue.speak, not what I need. let's go into the speaking code. Make sure it's running. Yeah, so, oh, is it because I'm not resetting the index? And I'm just stupid? That's probably what it is. I'm probably just a fool. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this again. I probably butchered that tween just for no reason. Let's go look at dialogue GDE just to figure out what the tween used to be. Make sure I did it right. So it used to be... Come back. So you set parallel true. The speech label does that. And then it'll chain... Yeah, why would I set parallel true twice? Doesn't make any sense. A little weird. And then I wait for the interval. I feel like I don't quite understand how chain works. Still. Let me look at the documentation again. Chain is a weird thing. Okay. Used to chain two tweeners after set parallel is called with true. So this one will run parallelly. Yeah, sounds like a fake word. And then this one will chain, so run after both these ones are done. So if we go back into here, I presume the way this will work is that if we have it set to parallel, all of this stuff is going to happen parallelly, and then this stuff happens after all of that. So it's going to do the fade in, it'll start waiting the time it needs, and then after, it'll do tween interval that, and that. I don't really need two of these, so I'm actually just going to say time on this plus this one. And that should work pretty well. And text should work. Let's give it a try. Finally, I found it. Let's see if there's a guy running around. Nothing. Maybe? Nope. Nope. It's fine. It's fine. So that works pretty well. Yeah, I do like how it makes the same voice lines will now always be the exact same sound, which is kind of cool. Because then it's like, I don't know, I think it's easier to understand what they're saying because you can remember like the sound of a specific voice line, right? Because now it's like, okay, if I give this person the wrong item, it's like, it makes the same noise. So I think that's cool. And then what does it sound like if I give? And obviously she sounds really a little bit weird right now just because it's just doing a raw pitch shift. I think it would be better if we did another voice that's like actually like different for female voices instead of just pitched up. But I think it'll work. Let's skip. Let's go find another dude to talk to. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. I just want to make sure their stuff is tweening. All right, yeah, looks good. The yapsters. I don't like how they keep talking during the bullets or whatever. I noticed that bug I need to kind of fix. So we'll probably do that right now. Die speedrun. Alright. So let's go into the scavenger. And for some reason, like they give you a warning but then immediately shoot you. Which just seems not right. Let's figure this out. So the way they work is if they find an attack target nearby. Bro, stop yapping. If they find an attack target nearby, they do an initial aggro. And it sets a warning count. And also the aggro timer. So that'll be from 2 to 6 seconds. So they pick an initial warning, they start doing it, and then aggro timer starts decrementing. So as soon as aggro timer is less than or equal to 0, either random chance or warning count, then we start attacking. But if it's not that, we do another warning. We up the warning count, and then we start the aggro timer again. So I think the issue that's happening is that the aggro timer is not taking into account the actual time of them speaking. Right? So I think what I want to do is start the speaking process right off the bat. And then set aggro timer to whatever the dialogue.speaking time is. I'm actually going to make this a real variable. This is going to be a float. The speak time will get set whenever it is done in here. Speak time. Set this one to speak time. All right. So now I know exactly how long they're going to be talking for. So back in here, aggro timer will now be dialogue.speak time instead. And so that should give them plenty of time to finish what they're saying before they just immediately start attacking you again, right? So try that out. And I might also just add a little bit of a thing on top of that too. I think I might decrease the number of maximum warnings to 2. Sometimes they yap a little bit too long. An aggro timer on this really doesn't need to be configured to any value because it'll run this code first here, always. Okay, so I think we should be good. Yeah. Now, I do want to add like a second or two on to the speak time though, because otherwise they're just going to go immediately after. And then aggro timer, we would set, yeah, so only if that's hit our maximum warning count and is at 0 is when we check. Then here I start adding to aggro timer again, and I say if it's greater than 2. So that way they just kind of like stand there for a minute while you walk away from them. So I think that should work. I think we're good to go. Let's try it out. Technically speaking, can you add an in-game chat that's voiced by this? Yeah, definitely. You could easily do that. You just map the whatever the character says in chat into you know, the sound bites. So it'd be pretty easy. Yeah, it'd be fun to use this somewhere. Some other project eventually or something. I would like to potentially do some microphone stuff with Deadlift. Because now that we have the audio system, it seems like it could actually be kind of a fun thing to do. It wouldn't necessarily be required, obviously, to play with your microphone active, but it could be kind of fun. Yeah, that was much better. It gives the player a second to register what they're saying and then realize, like, okay, if I keep pushing my luck, I'm gonna get shot. That's good. And sometimes it might just be one warning. Oh, that one still did it, though. Dang it. Weird. So when I walk back in before the aggro timer has been reset or something? Just trying to figure out why this happens. Come on, bro. The aggro. Because it just immediately seems like it happens right after that last line. I don't know why. Let me really make sure that everything is what I expected here. So we figure out the type. Initial aggro. Oh, bro. Leave me alone. Okay. Is it because I never set initial aggro back to true? No, I do, though. Because it'll set the aggro timer right here to like 6 seconds or something. And then down there, it should also do it. Aggro timer right here. Just immediately set it to that plus 2 seconds. Is it like decrementing aggro timers somewhere else or something? I mean, I'm just saying minus equals delta right there. So that should be fine. Maybe somehow it's reaching... Oh, that doesn't make any sense. Recast stuff. None of the other stuff should matter. I'm gonna go ahead and just print out then what our aggro timer is. So you can see it's set, it's like really big right now just because they're wandering around and it keeps getting incremented up. So that doesn't matter. I don't know where they went. So you can see it's got 1 second left. Then there's 3 seconds left on it. So how are they attacking? Unless this just didn't get updated properly or something. Let's like keep refreshing it. See, they talked again and then they just immediately start attacking. So I think there's something wrong with my warning count check. Because I say, but it's not possible because it's if else, right? Ooh. Maybe I need to say if aggro timer is less than 0 and not attacking. That might actually be the problem. Let's try it out. Let's use that ad. Yeah, it could be that it's just running twice in that one event right there. We'll see. Okay. One final check. Come on. Okay, that one was fine. That's intended behavior. Let's see what happens again. That one was also good. So maybe it's fine now. It's just that what was happening probably was that it... Yeah. So that one's fine. Okay, I guess it's fine now. So I think it was just that I didn't check if they're not attacking already. So I think it's okay. A little bit quirky. That's fine. All right. Well, I think everything's working then. I do want to change her voice because it's just a little odd. But we could go into the shop table and change her voice pitch. Maybe just make it a little bit higher, but not like insanely so, like 1.5. Then the other guy having a low pitch is good. But yeah, I do want to do different voice recorders. Yeah. Let's see how she sounds. Let's restart the game and see. We've got a voice actor who's recording for us soon. Let's go. Yeah, that'd be epic. It'd be nice to have a bunch of different sounds for this stuff. One thing I'd probably say, just for future voices and stuff, we probably want to keep the sounds maybe a little bit shorter, possibly. And I also noticed on some of these, there is like a little bit of a gap initially before the actual sound starts, which is kind of bad. You want it to essentially start like here, so it immediately gets into the sound, because otherwise you can kind of feel the delay. So that's something that I would say to just keep in mind. And yeah, I'd probably
fight.
I mean, maybe it would be fine with that one change. Some of them maybe are a little bit too long. Like just a little long. I'd probably want to keep the sounds under like 0.3 seconds. I'm just looking to see if there's one that's like particularly long. Just because I think when they get too long, they start to sort of all blur together a little bit too much, and you kind of lose the effect a bit. Like, it looks like V is pretty long. I don't really care about empty silence at the end of the clip, but definitely make sure that, like, there's no initial... I mean, that one's fine because, like, the Z is part of the sound. But for something like the... I don't know. Let's look through. Like, that one's okay. It pretty much instantly starts. But there's a couple in here that do have that a little bit of a gap. Like K. You can see there's just like a gap here. It should just start here. And immediately go into K, I think. And same with the N. Just because it'll be a little more snappy. Because the way it works now is like some of them don't have a delay, then some do. So it's like the timing between them is really inconsistent. So yeah. Just sounds like something that would play at the end of it. Yeah. Who recorded these? It was Zach Delirium in chat. Yeah. But otherwise, I think it does sound pretty epic. Yeah, like most of these are fine. Like this one has a really large gap for some reason. It should just start like right here and immediately go into the sound. I think that would be better. And yeah, I would say probably just keep them pretty short because the time between the sounds is 0.5 seconds. So if you really want to be able to hear each and every sound, I think it's really important to keep them super short. Because I don't want to skip over sounds. That's why the sounds in Animal Crossing are like so short. It's like a little beep. You know, they're just tiny little blips and beeps, basically. But yeah, short as you can get them, I would say. Obviously, like, make sure they still sound real. Like, I'd say, yeah, around like 0.3 or even like 0.25 seconds would probably be ideal. But yeah. We could always do another like test batch, just doing specifically much shorter sounds, as long as it's not like a really big time commitment. Just to see what like shorter sounds would be like, to see if we prefer that. Because I mean, I assume that it's going to be better. You'll like hear the individual sounds a little bit better. but I don't want to just make that assumption and not really know for sure, you know? So we could potentially try that. I could record a sound and do it, and I'm not gonna do that on stream because it'll be boring, but next to snap here we can compare. Yeah, that'd be fine. I mean, these ones aren't bad or anything. It's fine, but I do wonder what it'd be like if they were like half the length. Yeah, I'd for the next, if you're gonna do another one, I'd say go kind of on the extreme end and make them very short, just so that we can like hear the difference very clearly. So I'd say like maximum 0.2 seconds or something like that, like, or even less, like basically half the length of these ones. But yeah. But otherwise, I think this will be cool. I do like a lot of things about how it, like what it does for the dialogue, because it makes dialogue lines actually always sound like the same, which is good. Because if the character says one specific line, it's good for like player memorization or whatever, because if my character says something, it's going to be said in the same way, so that I instantly, like in my brain, recognize what he's saying better, I think. So that's a good thing. And same with like the shopkeepers, you know, it just makes lines and dialogue more iconic, I guess, instead of just being purely random all the time. And I think it just sounds cool. It's a lot more organic sounding than our old Sans line. So yeah, I wasn't thinking about it when I pitched it, but I like that muscle memory thing is kind of huge. Yeah, I definitely think so. It'll be really nice. Because it kind of more closely emulates like actual real voiced dialogue, if that makes sense. Because like obviously with that stuff, it's like all the lines are the same and consistent. So now we kind of get that a little bit with this, which is cool. And something we could potentially do just for a tiny bit of variation is on top of everything else, we could also, every time a character is said, just randomize the pitch a tiny bit. And it might actually be kind of interesting. I'm curious to see what it would be like. So I think what I'm going to do is say I dot pitch scales equal to voice pitch plus randf range, and just a very small amount. It wouldn't be like a super noticeable thing, but it might just make it sound like it wouldn't be literally the exact same frequencies every time somebody says something, but the same like general vibe and sounds, but the pitch might be a little bit random. Yeah, I think that could be neat. Yeah, like varying it a lot for a scared character could be neat. Let's see what this sounds like now. So if I like throw items in here. Yeah, it's like the same general vibe, but every time it's just a tiny bit different, which is cool, I think. So that's neat. And then yeah, we could see what it would be like if we did like really big pitch variation and see if they sound more like scared. I'd have to set some limits on how much it can vary, probably, because you hear that, yeah, you hear that, well, that one in there that gets really low pitched and it says, so probably should change that. I still got to talk about, yeah, real. So, okay, here's another thing then that I would say, that I would suggest, and I think it'll give us a lot more control over how voices sound, is try and make every single sound the exact same pitch. So like if you say, like, let's just take two letters, for example, E and duh. So instead of saying duh and do like duh, like the exact same kind of pitch. So then that pitch variation will give me a lot of control, because we can then like do completely monotone if somebody's like bored or is like, you know, calm. and then do more variation as there's more intensity in the dialogue, right? If that makes sense. Because most of these, they're around the same pitch, but sometimes it's a little different. Like
Q.
Like Q, and then is definitely different. And it goes oh. I mean, it's not a, I don't know, we'll see. I would like to try that though. I just want to try a bunch of different things and see what it sounds like, so that before we start asking a bunch of people to make sounds, we kind of understand what we want. So I think that would be good. Yeah, I think we should try it though and just see if it does give us that. Yeah, it's just testing period right now. I'll definitely do one as well, just to try some stuff and like tweak things and see what I think works. But yeah, I could even make like a little automated tool or something so you can test the sounds easier if you want. I don't think it would take me very long. I can just send you an exe you can open and then just point to like a folder location or something. But yeah, could potentially do that. And then it would just be like a dialogue box that you can type into, then click play, you know? And then you can mess with different like voice pitch ranges. Yeah, it would be nice so that we can test easier. So I'll work on that later. I'll write it down. All right. Yeah, it would be pretty cool. Yeah, because I mean, then we could literally just use it for anything. It doesn't even have to be a game necessarily. Yeah, I think it'd be fun. Yeah, if we want to do like other characters, I don't think we'd ever do other characters other than numbers and letters, but those should be fun. Yeah, I think this will work though. Let's give this guy a wood. Another thing we could also do is like pitch shift depending on their emotion also. Like when he gives you a thumbs up and he's like, pleasure doing business, he could have a slightly higher pitch because he's like happy about making a transaction. I gotta tap out for a quick second. Yeah, that's all good. No worries. Yeah, there's a lot that we could do in terms of character expression with this, I think. So, that'd be cool. It's almost sort of the same system we've got going in like Starground. It's a little bit different there though. Because we don't do like, we don't map sounds to individual characters, it's just random sounds that get played. But I think this is a neat system though. Funny little guy. Take the peanut butter. It'd be funny to kind of like use the kobold as a way to bring items back to the elevator. Also, did the kobold get slower or something? I feel like he's really slow right now. Might need to fix that. Or I think oh wait, no, I always get used to being in debug mode and I'm like, that's just normal speed. Nah, he's actually pretty quick compared to the player. Shake his fist angrily if you get the wrong item, yeah. Fun. Get out of here, guy. Yeah, I think the new trading stuff will be good for sure. It just makes the trading a lot more flexible in terms of what you can give him for items and stuff. It does sometimes result in I guess like the same item for the same item, potentially. But I don't think it's a very common thing. And it doesn't really matter. So let's see, one thing I want to do. I don't want these sounds to be too loud. Oh. This is what it all sounds like right now. It is still a little bit loud. So I think I'm going to go into the dialogue node and decrease the volume just a little bit more to like -8 or something. Yeah, otherwise I think we're at a good spot with things. Yeah. Yeah, we got all the new models in. Whole load of stuff. We've got like closer. The paintings, I need to create more images for them. But all the little stuff too, just like the random rotation of decorations, I think is nice. It should help a lot. Like all the new ceiling fixtures. I do really like how the freezer and the butchery zone have turned out. There still is more decorations I want to put in those places. But we're getting there. I'm gonna go down to one of those levels. Sorry for how loud everything is. Let me turn down the volume of the game. Oh yeah, I gotta remove the aggro printing, we'll do that. Oh. These guys are still quite difficult to deal with. I think I did decrease their aggro range, so it's a little bit better. But yeah, I have to see though, like what you guys think about these guys. It's tricky because obviously I want them to be dangerous and they are kind of easy to avoid, just don't make any sounds, right? So I do want them to be, the consequences to be severe enough. We'll see. Yeah, so this is the freezer zone with the snow and the big like shelves. I think I like how this has turned out. I don't know if Spaghetti, I think Spaghetti has a butchery zone. Yeah. Yeah, this one's got like the hooks and stuff. I think they turned out nice. And also the shelves and pallets and tables. Yeah. Pretty epic. I do have more ideas for more models in these areas. Like having like some kind of like, you know, meat carcass or something. We either do that in there or in the freezer. But I think it's fine for now. It's a good start. In the crate, we can definitely think of more furniture ideas for sure. I have to just look at some like references for these areas, you know. And those guys sound a lot better now. Better than their old just ooh, 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 ooh. And yeah, you can also like deactivate them now, which is nice. Because now that there's like actually sound matters, it's important to get rid of them, you know? I don't know if we'll find one anywhere. No. Let me through. Yeah, we'll just have to keep adding in new entities. I think the more we add, the better. We're gonna get to a spot, like, it is tricky. It requires a lot of variation, but eventually with roguelites, I think you do sort of reach a point where you have so many things that it does actually start to feel interesting every single time, because you just start seeing specific guys less and less, which is important. And we'll definitely get there. Especially once we start adding in the new, like, whole new zones. Because right now we've just got the four or whatever. The overgrown area, freezer, regular, and the meat area. They're all fine and stuff, and that's why I went back and upgraded these before we moved on. And I'm happy with how the new looks are. But it's going to be really nice to have just a completely new vibe for a zone. And that's what one of the next zones is going to be. We talked about in the past of doing, the next place is going to be like a sewer. I think I talked about it at least. But I think it should be pretty neat. We've already been coming up with a lot of ideas for guys in there. And it'll just be a whole different environment. Very different from the regular, this area. But yeah, like it's gonna have like valves and water and stuff. I think that will be kind of fun mechanics. And yeah, there'd be like, yeah, I think it'd be cool. We want like certain areas that are like really filled with water you have to walk through and stuff. I think it would be kind of fun. Trash bags and fridges and stuff. Yeah. Oh, I think it'll be fun to work on this area. I'm gonna figure out what these things are. Are those like pipes? I think. Yeah, we could do some like pipe decals on the ceiling and stuff. I think that'd be cool. Yeah, hopefully the game will become fun with enough variation. It's always really tricky with roguelites sometimes. Because it's an interesting thing with roguelites. It's like infinite content but also no content. So you have to be careful. Because if you do it right, I think, and you add in enough true variation, I think you can get a lot of replay value. But also I've seen a lot of roguelites, like Starground, that don't have very much variation in terms of their stuff. So it just gets a little boring sometimes. I think it's kind of like, it's like an exponential graph of combinations and variation, right? Like when you first start building up that content, it starts off really, really slow, you know? Like you need to build up a lot of things, but then eventually you kind of hit like this critical mass where you start building up so much stuff that the ways they start combining with each other, the possibilities start exploding, and then you get a lot of content. And that's why like games like Binding of Isaac and even Mugenics and stuff are so vast and have so much stuff. Because there's a lot of stuff, but it's also completely random. So it's just the amount of stuff gets multiplied by how random everything is. So you have like crazy, insane replayability. Which I think is important for a horror game. Because horror games have terrible replayability. Right? And I kind of want to beat those allegations, right? Because like, it's a little boring. You play through like a linear horror experience one time and then that's it, right? Like there's not really much else to do after that. The scares don't hit the same anymore and stuff. Phasmophobia, yeah, I mean Phasmophobia is like it is technically a horror game, but it's not very scary in my opinion. I think it's more, I think the reason Phasmophobia works as a quote-unquote horror game is like it focuses on the friend dynamic, right? And that offers up a lot of content. So that's why it works, and that's kind of the same. Obviously, Deadlift isn't multiplayer, but like tying into that same thing of like relying on the non-horror elements. Like horror is cool, but horror doesn't make inherently for good gameplay. So I don't want to just focus completely on make a scary game, because then it's not going to be a fun game. Like I think the horror elements will naturally arise out of the gameplay itself, like the stakes that you have. Like it's interesting because the scariest games I've ever played aren't even specifically like horror games, if that makes sense. Like it can be very terrifying just in any game if you have something built up, you have stakes and progress made, and then there's something that's threatening to take it away, right? That's, to me, I think what makes a game scary. Like, it's kind of the same thing in a lot of games, like even in like Resident Evil. Obviously there's scary monsters and stuff and it's a horror game, but a big thing about Resident Evil is that it's like a resource management game. You have like limited supplies and ammo and everything, so every evil guy that you encounter is a drain on those supplies. And it's really scary also once you're out of supplies, because now you have to like just deal with them and there's no easy ways around it. So I think that's what works. It's like there has to be the destruction of your stakes, and I think Deadlift is ripe for that with all the gameplay that's already set up, right? Because like the whole thing is you're survive as long as you can, you gather food and equipment, and everything in the maze is threatening all of that progress you've built up. I don't know, I might just be yapping and that doesn't make any sense, but I feel like that's the move. Everything. Like focus on gameplay, horror will just kind of naturally come about from the fact that the game is a resource management game. But we'll see. Because like, I just want to make sure that at the first and foremost that the game is fun. The horror stuff is kind of just a little bit of a spice on top of everything, right? Like it definitely is neat, and I think it'll definitely help a lot when it comes to like content creation stuff too. But it's not like I'm relying on just the horror for it to be a good game, because I don't think that's a good way to go about things. I mean, that's why you see a lot of like little, you know, PSX indie horror games. They're fun little one-time experiences, but I can't ever imagine myself like playing Iron Lung again or anything like that, right? There's just no replay value because it's a linear short experience and there's nothing else to do once you've done it once. But I think Deadlift hopefully will have more stuff to do. We've already got like crafting and there's a lot of elements that should help. And completely random layouts is another big thing. So yeah, but we'll see. All right. Anyways, is there any other big things I want to get done for Deadlift right now? I do want to put an update out, so I don't want to start something right now that's like this big process that might take me multiple days. Because I want to put the update out tonight. I think I've basically done it all. Let's go ahead and add this onto our list here. A new dialogue system. Increase the warning count on scavengers. What else have we done? Oh yeah, I added like a new trading screen. Trading screen lets you trade multiple different items. Add doors. It would be kind of neat to do doors. I think doors are kind of scary in a lot of ways because it blocks your vision and you have to just kind of hope and pray that whatever is on the other side won't instantly kill you. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I think it would help kind of like, I don't know, make the environments a little more interesting. Because right now they're all just, you know, one big connected hallway. But it would be kind of neat if like randomly there was just a door in the middle of the hallway you had to open and stuff. So maybe we will. I don't want to give people too much of a sense of security, but like, you know, going into a room and then closing the door behind them. But I think I'll make it so all entities can open doors. Unless it's like a very specific entity. It would be kind of neat to like be able to trap specific kinds of entities. Like if you could taunt Ares to run after you and then capture him in a room with a door. It'd be kind of neat. Let me get rid of that print statement for the scavengers. I don't know if it would necessarily be fast and easy for doors though, if I'm being real. Because I have to model a new model. And then I also have to make it so the door would have to be like a interactable object that you can open and close. And then I also have to set up code for entities to open and close doors. So it does require a little bit of time to figure out. I also need to figure out like what style of door I want to do, because like I don't think a wooden door makes sense in a place like this. I think it'll be more of like a kind of, you know, metal industrial door. Right, a commercial door, if you will. Something like perhaps one of these, you know? But that's like a hospital door to me. I know it's not actually a hospital door, but it just reminds me of a hospital. So, and it's like, there's a lot of questions, I guess. Do I want windows on the door? No. Yeah, it's all things I'm gonna have to figure out. Hopefully adding in a door right now though doesn't take more than an hour and a half, because I don't want to have to do that. I also have to make sure doors don't ruin pathfinding, which is another kind of concern, I guess. An old like door like this could be kind of neat. An antique door. But I think we're going more for an urban environment or whatever, so probably just your typical metal door is what we'd go with. I want to make sure it's like a big door, because the entities have to be able to pass through it freely. Let's see. And I guess I would just make them open both ways. Fine. Depending on which direction you come from. It would definitely be cool. I mean, we could start messing with it. At least just make like a door frame model. And I guess it would only show up in very specific types of geometry or whatever. For now, I'll probably just only put it in like straight corridors. But I could see doing like other types of rooms as well. Like kind of the threshold entering into a room could be neat as well. That would make sense to put it in places like that. We'll just start with a straight piece, I think. Corridors. So we've got the straight room. Boom. And just duplicate it. And then I guess essentially just I'm gonna say straight door. I do have other stuff that does have door in its name, just because it's like, so I might have to rename those, like to entrance or something. We'll see though. So now how do I want to do this? So I can make a loop cut like this. And that kind of lets me control the thickness of this. Maybe 0.5. So that could be the thickness of it. I don't want it to be too thick though. Maybe 0.75. Like that. So now I can dissolve these. Oh, of course it'll mess it up though. Oh, I'm gonna have to do merge it last on all these. Merge it last, my arch nemesis. Okay. And now we go into here. Just select all these faces. And we're gonna do extrude. Actually, I won't do it on the floor though, because that doesn't make any sense. Extrude along normals. Womp. Just until we figure out how thick we want the doorway to be. I really don't want the sides to be too big. And like the top we can lower a bit, but not too much. I think overall it should be kind of a relatively large door. And then I gotta move these guys down. Set them to global Z of 0. Sort of like that. There's some weird face business going on here. It's like going through one into the other. And there's also this face. Oh yeah, this one's messed up. Okay. These down to 0. To do these faces. Stuff's a little bit messed up. Oops. Let's delete these lines. Speaking of lured in, really quick, I'm going to go ahead and enable that controller support thing just to see if that does anything. For fixing your Steam Deck stuff. Because it could be what's going on here. I guess I need to go into, I think, storage? I know there's like a thing for running controller support. Yeah, start the wizard. Mouse and keyboard plus gamepads. Yes. Actually, let me make sure. Yeah, be able to do everything, display the correct glyphs. Yeah. Home center text must open a virtual keyboard. I think. Should be fine. I don't do any PlayStation. No, I don't have any Steam API. Oh yeah, I had to pause the game. I mean, there's not really anything to pause though and lured in, right? Okay. So yeah, we'll see if that does anything. I'll go ahead and publish this change as well. Because now Steam might be like, oh yeah, it's got controller, so let's do controller mode instead, you know. We'll see what happens here. Might have to do that inside of the Steamworks settings as well, but I can't remember. Builds. Don't think it's an installation. I think that should be it. We'll see what happens though. I need to run it up on my Steam Deck as well, so I'll definitely be doing that. How did you even get it on your Steam Deck? Because I noticed like I don't see it on mine when I run my Steam Deck. So because it doesn't show up for me, so I don't know how I'm supposed to play it. I know that you're on Windows though, right? So maybe I should make a game launcher. I think we could. I'm personally not much of a fan of game launchers. I always get like spam emails and stuff that's like, add your game to our launcher, but yeah, I'm not doing that. Why bother when Steam is around? But it'd be fun though, just for yourself if you wanted to. Where is the game? I can't view the game in my library. Oh, was it just because I was looking at games, only games great on deck or whatever? Let me see if it's in here now. Just because... Come on. Show me load in, baby. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to install it on my Steam Deck. Just so that I can start testing it and stuff. Yeah, but like all my itch games on spot, that's fair, yeah. Load incomplete. Yeah, I'm just gonna load it up really quick and I want to see what happens. Oh. Yeah, I launched it and it said it recommends gamepad input or whatever now. I think it's because it supports controller. So we're gonna go ahead and try this. I'm gonna close Blender just for 1 second. Because I have to. And I want to see what happens now. I should be on the version 0.2. And I don't seem to be getting controller input. Huh. Maybe there's like a mode or something I have to enable to actually activate controller. I have no idea. Well, I'm gonna add in another function that like actually checks to see if you are on controller or on Steam Deck and then force controller mode. So it'll definitely work with that. It shows that I'm using controller. Because I'm on controller settings. Weird. Yeah, it's not working on mine either. Gamepad. But it does show gamepad with joystick, trackpad. I'm going to apply the layout. Looks good. A button. Because the game should be detecting that you're receiving gamepad input and then making it controller mode, but it's not detecting that for some reason. So I must have messed something up. Because I can't input anything. That's kind of too bad. But it's okay. I'm gonna put up another update soon. Maybe tonight that does that. So. Uh-oh. How do I get out of the game? I don't ever use my Steam Deck. How do I close Lurden? I have no idea how to close Lurden. Just go back to home. It's still open in the background. Where's the Steam key? Oh, there it is. Exit game. Okay. But yeah, I think with controller support, it'll be 100% compatible. I just need to go and change one little thing in it. It'll be curious to see how like the game looks on Steam Deck. Steam is very particular about the sizing of icons and text and stuff like that. So I do have to make sure if I'm going to do Steam Deck verification that everything is easily visible. But hopefully it'll be fine. I do want to kind of start on that process relatively soon, just so that it's like ready to go from the beginning and there's no problems. I'm assuming that it lets me do it yet. I hope. So I don't see any way to activate or to do Steam Deck verification, which is interesting. I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. Because like on Starground, it just shows it there, right? So maybe it's like, I wonder if it's something that you can only do after you make a certain amount of money or something. Because you can see in Starground, Steam Deck compatibility review, right? So how do I get this active? Like, what's the rules? Okay. So I guess they just play your game and review it randomly. Interesting. It's too bad. I wish I could somehow get it tested before. Yeah, you can manually request a review from upcoming or backlog catalog tile by using Steam Deck compatibility review link in the technical tools section of your app. Okay. Technical tools of the app page. Tools. Transfer query, Steam platform navigation. So I guess I do not have the ability to request it yet, which is too bad. Well, I don't know if we'll be able to actually get Steam Deck verified on launch because I don't see any other way for me to do it. I might possibly send Valve the email and just ask and be like, is there any way I could like do that? But we'll see. Within a week of submission. Well, guess we have to wait. It's too bad. Let's finish modeling this. I'm gonna split this in half so I don't have to redo it. Maybe once Graham technically owns the Steam page, maybe then I can do it. Because, I mean, he's got a lot of games released on Steam, so maybe that would work. Because it is like one of those big features I really want ready to go for launch. Geometry is terrible. It's fine though. have to fix all this geometry. I have to settle the faces. But it's fine. I think we'll just start with this door just being in just a empty, like, just like this. And then we can tweak, like, how it is and stuff later on. But I think the door object itself is going to be a separate mesh. So yeah, I'm going to have to do, like, the generation of the doors, like, separately from the generation of the mesh itself. But it should be fine. Alright, so we got a door, perhaps. So we'll try this out. It's corridor, straight door. Okay. Corridors. So we go into library source. Straight door. My hand, man, I don't know. I did get a new mouse. I wonder if just that slight change in shape of the mouse is making my hand hurt. I don't know. All right, now we're gonna do export as a mesh library. Oof. Don't merge. Overwrite. Okay, so now if we go back into our generation code, we can randomly choose to do one of those. So if we do just a completely random straight corridor, like this guy, then I just want to do a random chance, like, let's do 0 to 2 is equal to 0. Then we'll do the door, otherwise do the normal straight one. And let's see if it generates. By the way, for a minigame and lure it in, I've got a suggestion. What about a reeling mechanic where you spin middle mouse button to reel in a fish? Oh yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, you could do like right analog stick or mouse wheel. That could definitely work. Yeah, I want to do more minigames soon, so I can definitely write that down. It'd be fun, I think. Okay, so this is what it looks like. That's a little weird on the wall there. I don't know why it's like that. Did I just not set the material properly or something? I did. I guess it's just because of how this material is. It doesn't matter because you're not going to see that because the door is going to be there, but yeah, this should work. There's a lot of doors right now. Maybe it's just a random chance, but it seems like a ton. I'll definitely decrease the chances of them spawning. Now, this is something a little bit problematic, though, is that these can spawn in the door, and that's not great. So we'll have to do another check for decorations if they're in one of these. It doesn't spawn one. How did he see me, bro? Oh, he must have heard me. Yeah, with launchers, I think, yeah, people, I mean, I definitely will not, like, I never install third-party launchers other than Steam, so. Yeah, you definitely could also do that. I mean, if you want to make a launcher just for fun, I don't see the problem, but I definitely wouldn't expect anybody to actually download it. Let's see. So I'm gonna write this down for lure in. Okay. So how do we go about making this door work? Problem is the furniture spawns into it, so we'll have to stop it from doing that. I don't know how we're gonna stop it from doing that, but I'm sure we can figure out some kind of way to. Also have to make sure the robots don't clip into the ceiling, because that would be kind of bad. Yeah, doors are a little bit more complicated than you'd think. But it's not that bad. I could just offset this decoration spawning to somewhere kind of randomly in the center. Or like offset it over to this side or this side instead. Now it'd probably be okay. But depends on the size of the furniture. It might work for this one, but maybe not for every other one. Because like this shape, I'm pretty sure gets cut off like right here or something, right? So I don't really have a lot of room to move this over by. And also it'd be weird because then the door would like open into the furniture probably. So I don't think I should have furniture on these ones. I think it's an easy fix. I just have to check if I'm attempting to spawn in furniture on that specific type of corridor, then just don't. So. I'd much rather like your own website with links to all the itch games. Yeah. I think itch has some pretty good ways of like tools giving you ways to organize your games on your page. So because you can control like the way it's displayed, whether it's a grid or like there's different formats for the way it's shown. So honestly, you can do a grid or a sidebar. And another thing too is I think you can just like, you can make collections and stuff in here too, which is another big thing. So you can make like my top games and then, you know. But yeah. Does itch not have its own launcher app? Yeah. It would be kind of neat if there is an itch launcher. I definitely would not mind that actually. Most of the time I'm pretty anti-launcher, but itch is like so many games on it. I think it would actually kind of be fine. But yeah. How's Pizza Pit been going? It's funny how many views and stuff Pizza Pit always gets. I don't know why it's so consistent. There's a lot of wild reviews here. I don't know why people would rate it 1 star, but that's fine. And 39 collections. I think it kind of goes to show you just how well idle games do on itch, right? I definitely want to do Lured In on itch just as a web build, just a free little web version of it. I think it'd be good to kind of advertise the game, build up wish lists. Which is big enough, I wouldn't mind either, yeah. It has an app. Don't know if it has a launcher. Does it have an app? Is it like a mobile app? Because I think we mean something more like Steam. I don't even know where you would get that. Oh, there's a download app over here. Oh, there is a desktop app. Okay. Interesting. But does it let you do like all the normal stuff you can do in the regular itch website though? I'm not sure. But you know what? I'd download that. Let's try it out. Because I'm kind of curious to see what it's like. Yeah, it wouldn't be the worst. I hate having to download a billion things, so it's just nice to have it in a library instead. It's like Steam, yeah. Okay. Well, we'll wait for that to go. Oh, it's already done. Okay. We have to log in to save logins. Oh. Sign into itch app. Alright, cool. So it shows me the things I own, which is epic. I forgot that I have this. I think I bought this in a Humble Bundle or something and it was like really cheap. It's just a bunch of PSX assets. Just kind of cool. I mean, I'm probably not going to use pre-made assets. We'll see. Oh my god, this guy keeps yapping. Let me just... But there's a lot in here. They're definitely not the style of Deadlift, but... A Game Boy? Is it that? Right there, yeah. It is indeed. God, I'm getting so many Instagram notifications. Use an app how to forget, yeah. It's easy to forget, I think. It's a cool pack, though. I have always thought about... I don't know, is it worth it to use an asset pack? Is that cheating? I don't think I will. But maybe if I was just doing some other stupid project I don't care so much about. There's the Mega Pack 2, apparently. 48 cents? It's really hard to read. The font is like bad. Rest in blood. Kidnapper's van. Interesting. But yeah, see, you can do some pretty cool styling though. This is just somebody's itch page, right? Like, because I think you can do like custom images and stuff in the description, all sorts of stuff, so it's pretty cool. These are all the different games that people used. I'm actually curious to see what games in here. There might be something I remember. Musk. I think how's my driving, maybe? I don't remember. I know we're totally getting distracted from working on Deadlift, but it's fine. Mine clicker. You might have done some pixel art assets or something too. But yeah, pretty cool though. Anyways, there's a billion games. It is wild how many horror games there are on itch. Pizza doggy. Anyway, so now I should have like my whole library. I don't have anything installed. I've got these. I can just like install stuff, I guess. I think I could just like install Pizza Pit. How do I like search? Not up there, right? I'm not logged in apparently. Okay, no, this is just like a web browser. Which is actually the way that Steam does their stuff too, funny enough. Mixy smell. I saw that game and read it. I'll search top left, oh. The home of indie, yeah, definitely. I would have showed Indie Apocalypse first before Pizza Pit. This is not what I asked for. Starground. Okay, I guess my things just aren't indexed. I don't know. See you soon. Oh, now it's gonna run in the background and stuff. I don't want that to happen. Let's go make it not do that. Startup apps. Itch. It's not in here. Maybe it doesn't actually start up. Okay. And it's running forever, yeah. Anyways. Yeah, seeing all asset packs and stuff, it does like make me think like, are the models in Deadlift stupid? Like, I don't know if these are actually good or not. They get the job done, but like, I wonder if I should spend a little bit more time modeling. Whoa. I got it stuck on top of the fence. It's crazy. Come on. Go up there. I can almost get it. Go on. There we go. Sun style, hard to say. Look fine. Yeah. I don't know. Because it's definitely more like a lot of asset packs and stuff are all just normal human objects, like a computer, and like we don't really have a lot of that in Deadlift, so it's kind of hard to compare, I guess. I mean, the office chair, I guess. I don't know. I'll probably go through and remodel a lot of things. I think a big thing too is texturing. Right now, all I've really done is just used a bunch of procedural textures, and they're fine, but maybe one day I'll start messing with like some actual texture painting and stuff. I don't know. But it's a lot of work, you know? It's just hard to say. Like, I could spend all the time doing that, but I don't know. Also, I shouldn't really compare with debug mode on because the lighting is stupid. I'm not really sure. Trader didn't take your fish. Oh. I forgot to implement that and alert in. I need to do that. I forgot to actually take the player's fish. But it's fine. It's an easy fix. Let's go into, I'm just gonna do it really quick so I don't forget. Chef code. And then when you take in, you accept a deal right here. I actually had to take the fish. That would help. Okay. I think I can just say -1. So it's going to be an item entry, so i.id. And then we say -i.amount. So that should do it. And I think that'll work. Yeah, so it'll remove the amount and then clamp it to 0. Fine. All right, fish should they should actually take your fish now. I'll see. Yeah, like the office chair, I can say the pack looks a bit nicer. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just I don't really have a ton of modeling experience, really. So that's definitely something that I need to work on more for sure. But there's plenty of time to model more stuff, so it's not like it's too late. Thank you for the cheese time. Oh god. But yeah, just like looking at these, I think it's definitely a higher fidelity style than anything I'm doing in Deadlift. I don't really want to aim for something this like, it's not really quite very PSX-y. I mean, some of the things are a little pixely, but there's just more geometry. And a lot of these have custom textures and stuff too. These are all just objects and stuff. I mean, it looks like this doesn't really have any insane texturing. It's just that it's got more fine details and everything, you know? Like same with the monitor. It's kind of got the same thing going a little bit. Might change that eventually. I'm just kind of looking around. Wasn't there an office chair in here? Or am I crazy and I forgot? I don't know. But yeah, I'll probably do a big thing eventually where I go through and like work on remodeling things. Because there's a lot of upgrades I like to make to a lot of the environments and just everything. But it's always just a question of time, you know? That's the big thing. Like, I could spend forever modeling things, but then I'm not going to have any time to actually work on mechanics, so... But yeah. Like the wallpaper? Which one? Which wallpaper? On one of these asset packs? Just looking around here. There's just more... The big difference is just more geometry. Obviously, these are like different environments and stuff, but the asset pack, yeah. This has like that same rebel kind of stuff I already did in Deadlift. It's always tricky to create good-looking procedural environments because, like, it's always random, so you don't have like a ton of control over how every single specific area looks. Like I could spend days working on one little area like this and it would look great, but then you only get one little area, you know? So that's always kind of the compromise you make. But I think as time goes on, I'll definitely be tweaking things and making things a little more interesting looking. Like there's a lot of things I'd like to remodel someday. Like, I think these pipes and stuff are fine, but I'd like to maybe, I don't know, integrate them a little bit more into things. Just all very small things. Like, yeah, the chair is a little rough. But to be fair, I did model the chair in, like, 1 minute, so, you know. Same with the screen. I'll probably remodel that eventually. I just need to figure out like the exact vibe I want to go for with some of the models. I think that's been one of the challenges that I need to like kind of really hone down, right? Because it's like, am I aiming for like a more industrial, semi-sci-fi vibe? Almost something a little bit like Iron Lung? Or am I aiming more for like a more office vibe, you know? With like, or like a, whatever. I don't know. I have to figure it out. So, always make everything look terrible, yeah. No, it's hard. I think it's just to make a good looking environment, it's really a lot of things that have to come together, you know? Like, it's not just a case of good geometry or good textures, it's you have to have all of it. And like, especially stuff like decals and just little tiny debris and stuff, it all really adds up. So, always care more about gameplay loop. Yeah, I mean, definitely same here, for sure. I think what we've got going on right now is fine, and it's acceptable. But I'll definitely spend more time eventually, like, remodeling stuff. I think I should just not be so worried about copying real life. I think that's been one of the things where I'm like, oh, well, I want to make a table, but it has to look different from real life tables, you know? I need to just look at more reference when I'm modeling, you know? And like with this table, like, I mean, this table's fine. It's definitely a little bit more detailed than a lot of the other models, so it's not like a big deal. But like, I just need to look at things more. I don't know. I think it's okay. Like, these chairs are okay, but I could definitely make them better. Maybe do more of like a folding chair vibe instead of just this random weird chair. Yeah, we'll see. But I think that's a big part of me making Deadlift, is I want to learn how to model better. So it's not really a bad thing that I think some of the models are terrible. I think it's okay, because I'll just keep working away at them. Yeah, I like how the debris and stuff turned out. I think that stuff works because it's pretty relatively high fidelity. I think it's just some of the furniture looks a little goofy. It's not quite detailed enough. Even something like the hatch is okay, but like if I added some hinges and some bolts and stuff, I think it would immediately kind of upgrade the vibe of everything. And the Craft-O-Matic is better. I did add these little like knobs and stuff, but I think doing that even more, going even further with it would be good. Like maybe around this plate, I add like a little inset in the geometry to give it like a darker area around it and stuff. Just a bunch of things like that. I did add in these bolts, which are good. But yeah, and I did add in the hinges on this. But even some screws around here and stuff would probably be good. And like changing this electrical box a little bit to just look better, things like that. I mean, most of these models I did a long time ago, so. And this table, I think that could be improved. Yeah, just basically everything. We'll get there one day. But I'm not going to focus so much on the visuals because I think that's just a way to really shoot yourself in the foot, right? Like, I always think above everything else, gameplay should always be king. So that's going to be the main focus. Yeah, I really don't care personally how much games, what they look like. Like, I've played some pretty terrible looking games, but as long as it's actually just fun, it doesn't really matter. So I'll start over. Yeah, I should just scrap literally everything and rebuild the game from scratch, guys. That'd be a great idea. That'd take forever. Yeah, it's just a matter of going through these things and making them look a little bit, have some finer details, you know? Like the generator even, like it's fine, but you can kind of tell that it's just big shapes slapped together. Just a block and stuff, and it's the same for like this table and the chair. I think I just need to go through and think a little bit more about the finer things, like adding a little lever handle, you know, for the height adjustment on the chair, and like smoothing out the edges of these pillows or cushions and stuff, and maybe like a little metal band that goes around the cushion would look nice, and just stuff like that. It's all very minor things, but yeah, modeling is hard though. You could spend so long modeling objects, it's kind of insane. Ideally, the hope is that like over the course of making Deadlift and stuff, I can start to kind of build up my own like repository of models to use, right? Because I don't really see a huge issue in reusing geometry in other games if I'm the one that modeled it. So I think it'd be fine. I imagine I'll be making more 3D stuff in the future, so it is a good investment, you know? Yeah, I just need to smooth things out a little bit more. I'm happier with the overall shape of the elevator now with this little indent and stuff, so I think that is on the right track. I've always liked how things look in Voices of the Void, so that's definitely, like, I think a good source to look at, you know? Especially with the new, like, 0.9 models, I think look really nice. But I just like how everything in this looks. Because it's got, like, a low-res texture vibe, but also at the same time, it looks pretty... Like, in terms of the modeling, I think it looks nice. And really the main difference is like the textures aren't that much different or anything from what I've got going on, but it just comes down to the geometry, I think, is usually the culprit. And it does have some interesting, like, it's got these dirt decals on the top and stuff, and I have started doing that in the elevator. But if you just look at a crate like this, like, it's got these planks and these, and then a little strap that goes over everything, and an indent. It's got a lot of shapes going on. I don't think I need to worry so much about making efficient geometry, because it's just not really a... because it's just not really a a problem anymore. You know, computers are so fast, I don't think having fine geometry is going to be an issue. It just doesn't matter. So, but yeah, I'll keep working on stuff. Oh, power. And I think as I get more models that I can kind of use and for decorating and stuff, that's going to continue to help a lot. I think part of the issue also is just trying to, like, sometimes the furniture and stuff can feel a little like disjointed, like things don't really belong. But I think that'll continue to get alleviated, right? Because like we've just got a random table and it feels weird in isolation, but as I start adding in more models and wall fixtures and things on the floor, I think all those will start to kind of fit together better. And then I can, like, if I don't like the table here, I can just be like, all right, move this to a different zone. Because I like how the freezer and the butchery areas look. And I think it just comes down to the mixture of models that I'm using. And some of the newer models I am happy with. I think the palette is nice. If we look at that guy. Because we spent the time to go through and like model the nails and stuff, right? So I think it works. And then we've got stuff like the shelf is fine. It's basic, but it's got these little like support things, and I think it looks fine. Like what else do we have going on? The hooks look nice, I think. I do like how I did them, because the hook is just a 3D model, and then I did a chain image. Good shot. Oh. Leave me alone. And then these. I don't know about these. I might change the way they're kind of set up. Because those are kind of like picture frames, but you don't see picture frames in like an office setting, you know? It just isn't the vibe. So I might change those away from being like a picture frame into more of like a poster that's like taped onto the wall. Something like that. We'll see. But yeah, it's just all the little things that add up. And then I'll be able to take the skills I've learned about making environments in this game into other games, so it's not a wasted effort, I don't think. I do think the elevator like entrance could kind of be remodeled a bit, because I think it looks a little bit boring. I need to look at some more images of elevators and stuff and like just get a better idea of everything. I added in these supports to make it look more like, I don't know, interesting in here, but does it even make sense to have those? I don't even know. I just need to look around at more reference. And like this table's fine, the wheels are okay, but like it feels fake. I think it's because these bars here are like way too thick. Like you wouldn't see a table like this in real life with bars that are like this thick around. It's just, that doesn't happen. So I think if I like shrunk these and just made it more real life scale, that would help a lot too. Because it's like the same thickness as like a pipe. It doesn't really make sense. Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely reuse the plush in other games. We already kind of have been. It would be fun to add in a tank decoration. And lure it in, that's the Starground plush. So. Hooks make noise if you walk through them? Yeah, they do. We can go find one in here really quick. I'll show you. Yeah, I wanted the hooks to be like an interactive object, so. I don't think Duck has any. Spaghetti does. So yeah, we're here now. If you walk through them, you can see it jingles and makes some noise. See, I like how like this is looking, especially once we add in the doors. I think that'll help too, making environments look cooler. I miss them being added. Yeah, we did that. I can't remember when that was. A little bit ago. But yeah, basically we just modeled out a hook, or Season modeled the hook initially. Season did
begin a lot of these models. We had a stream where we kind of went through and cleaned them up a little bit just to make them like game ready. I think they're all looking pretty good. Yeah, you can crouch under them to not activate them. So you're good doing that. But then if you just run through it, it'll make a loud noise and alert entities around you. You do kind of want to be careful. Luckily, it looks like there wasn't anybody around me, but like if we... There's probably a guy somewhere around here. I saw one of them. Oh, like see that guy right there? I think that's a guy. If I walk into this, he's gonna now, he's like on his way over to check out what happened. So he's gonna like stand there. And also these guys can activate sounds too. It seems like it might not be, not sure why I didn't bring him over. If I walk into it again, he should come over, I think. Let's see if it worked. I'm gonna have to make sure that it is doing a real sound event. I'm pretty sure that it is, but maybe there's something weird with it. I mean, I'm going in it. It doesn't seem to be wanting to go through. Let me double check the code. Yeah, entered. So if it is the player. Okay. Yeah, it should create an audio event. I don't know why volume is set to half if it's the player. We should just do it at 1. Let's try again. Yeah, now he hears it. I don't know. I think it's just the range was so tiny before. Yeah, it seems like we're good now. Yeah, his hearing range isn't enormous. I did decrease it because it got too difficult to deal with these guys, I think. But here, I can give myself an item. Then, like, throw it. You can see he does hear it. He's just a little deaf right now, I guess. Come over here, guy. See, now he heard that one. He just has to be kind of in the right range. But yeah, it's tricky to balance the sound stuff because I want entities to be able to hear things from far away, but also at the same time, if there's like a bunch of entities and you activate a thing and like 10 guys come running toward you, it just doesn't feel very fun. You know? It's like, oh, I accidentally made a tiny little noise and now I'm gonna die in 3 seconds. It's like, that's not really great. So I kind of balanced his hearing a little bit more. Can you jump? No, there's no jumping in this game. There's just kind of not really a reason to add jumping. I think jumping kind of gives a game a very specific vibe, in my opinion. Like, when you're able to jump in a game, I think it kind of feels a little goofy. You know? Like, people don't jump around in real life. You know what I mean? It's not like I just, like, jump up onto crates and furniture. Like, it's hard to do. It's tiring, and it's not... You just don't... People don't jump. I know it's in games, but I think usually it's only... Whoa, it's only best if it's, like, some kind of platformer thing. But I just don't see any reason to be able to jump in Deadlift. Usually a lot of horror games don't have jumping, and that's for good reason. Last I jumped was in 2012. Yeah, like, I can't remember the last time I've jumped. It's probably been quite a while. I mean, like, yeah. I haven't jumped up onto an object anytime recently. I have no idea. Yeah, I want to add in a bunch of little more like models, like maybe some little like crate pallets with beer or something, you know, the classic. Also, he seems to be getting stuck on furniture somehow. Shouldn't be happening. I don't know why he gets stuck. He should not be colliding with furniture. Let me make sure. Yeah, he only collides with one. So why would he collide with a simple chair? Unless I accidentally left. No, it's only layer 6. So I don't know why he would collide with the chair. It just shouldn't be possible. Right? I mean, I'm not crazy. I guess it's just some kind of weird navigation thing. I gotta figure it out. Sometimes it's a little janky. Navigation has been kind of one of those things in this game that's been a little hard to get, you know, tweaked and working reliably. Because there's just a lot of different things that can cause it to kind of get messed up. But we're getting there. He's fine now. Is the chair a nav obstacle? Yeah, it is. So it should prevent, like, they should walk around them. Just because I don't want entities to walk inside of the furniture very often. But I don't know, maybe I should make it so they're not nav obstacles, because I could see something like this, you know? Like, maybe this would just completely block off an entity, like it is right now. Like, they can squeak past it, but seems like maybe it's just a bad thing. I don't know why he's colliding with those, because he really shouldn't. Like the crate and stuff, and the table. Maybe the crate I made didn't do it right. Oh, it's on layer 6. So then Ares. And he is on collision layer 1. Alright. He only collides with layer 1. I mean, you can see that they can get through this stuff. It might just be that he detects... I don't know how he's doing this. Mask is 2. Unless there's some kind of weird code I have set up where the furniture changes or something. I'm not really sure. No, don't open the blend. No! I don't do any of that in here, so... Yeah, extends a node 3D. Well, I don't know. I'll have to keep figuring it out. Because he might have, like... I know he has, like, a shape cast or something, I think, for doing his charging. Yeah, I don't really know yet. But those are things that I'll keep working on. I just gotta keep tweaking there's like a lot of different kinds of pathfinding algorithms and post-processing, and so I can just keep tweaking those in different stages to kind of make them navigate properly and stuff. 2D character in always remind me of Baldi's Basics. Yeah, that's definitely a big inspiration, I think, for the game. I mean, maybe. I'm not seeing where the shapecast is. I think it's that he has a... like, one up in here. Inside the entity class. I think I'm dynamically creating one. Something like that. I think on ready, I say add my vision cast, right? Yeah, if require raycast. And then raycast new, then I just add it as a child. So I don't know, maybe the raycast by default is masking to every layer, and that's why he's running into it. So I might just have to say raycast dot collision mask is equal to 1. I think that should just be layer 1. But default is 1. So it shouldn't even be that. Well, that's not even what I do to detect whether he's hit the wall, is it? Because I think I just have a line in here that's like, if is on wall. Yeah. If collided with move and slide. But his layer, his mask is only 1. No, I don't want him to collide with layer 6. That's the thing. Like the crate is on layer 6, which is the furniture layer. So I want to not use that layer as the mask. Same with the chair. There might be some reason this is like happening. I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, the doorman doesn't collide with it either. Is there any of these that do have? Oh, they're all layer 6. It's really odd. I don't know how they would be colliding with those things, you know? Unless I'm doing some kind of weird bit of code in here where I'm setting the collision mask. Oh, I am actually. So I make him collide with furniture if the size is small. But I think I'm actually going to get rid of that now because I realize maybe it's not a good idea. I do want like little tiny guys like the kobold to collide with furniture because he's so tiny he can squeak around things really easily, right? But like larger guys like Ares and stuff, I really don't want them to collide with furniture just because it makes their navigation really problematic. Yeah, like this guy, he can squeak through everything because he's smaller than the player is, right? I mean, basically anybody that's larger than the player should not collide with furniture because then it'll just make navigation impossible. We can go ahead and run up. Let's go to a place with more stuff going on, like spaghetti. So they should no longer collide with any furniture now. Even if they're small. But see, then this happens, like, I guess he technically can walk under it because he's tiny. And he just walked through that table like nothing, so... Seems to be fine. The thing is that the default locomotion method of entities, which is a good thing, is that they just walk in the center of the corridor, which means they're not going to run into things on the side, even if they do clip into them a little bit. So I kind of don't want them to like, yeah, to collide with that kind of stuff. And now I think his dashing should be fine. I do need to change his animation and stuff. Yeah, you can see he did not collide with the crate. Which, yeah, it's complicated because maybe, I don't know. It does like a little janky when he goes inside of the furniture, so this is the problem, right? Like maybe I need like different tiers of collision, right? Like maybe some objects like the crate is like a full collider, but then other things that are kind of more finicky, like the pallet or the shelf, you know, maybe they don't really have collision. I don't know, it's hard. There's a lot of factors that go into it, so I'll have to keep working on it. I think it's just going to be a matter of like whack-a-mole, right? Whenever a weird navigation thing appears, try and replicate it and fix it. Then eventually, if we do that enough, hopefully all the weird navigation problems should be fixed. I guess I'd rather have them clip into objects a little bit than be unable to move, you know? So it's probably fine. And most of the time you're not going to be staring at though, like you're going to be running away, so I think it'll be okay. You're not going to really notice it. Because the doorman is always getting stuck, and he's just like, he gets stuck on a chair and then just stops moving. And it's kind of like, okay. This guy isn't really that intimidating then if he just gets stuck on a chair. So what happens if he's charging at you and you duck under the table? Will he not collide with the table and still hit you? Yeah, that's what would happen. Which is kind of already what happened anyways when you hide under the table. Because I want it to be like, you can only hide from areas if he... there's like a range I have set for hiding from aggro. Yeah, that would actually be kind of neat. Maybe like he could just destroy the table. That'd kind of be a good solution to that, actually. Then you kind of have to be careful, like, you can use it to hide from people, but if you screw it up and like hide too early and you don't run away far enough, then it just destroys the object. That would be kind of a good way to deal with that. So maybe I'll do that, yeah. write that down. Let's see here. Make it so Ares and other aggressive guys can break tables and decorations. Yeah. I think that would be nice. It'll mainly just be anything you can hide under. I'll have to have some code inside of the decoration that kind of tells the player that, hey, you're hiding under me. Because I have it set up already like that. But I'll have to give like the sneak zone I guess like a path to its parent. I mean, that's basically just what owner is, that variable. So that should work okay. Another thing I want to change the model on are these leaves. I think the leaves are too big and they look kind of like fake, like they're plastic, you know? I want to look at some references of like games that do foliage and stuff and rework how these look, because I think they're a little stupid. But yeah. But overall, I think we're on the right path forward, hopefully, with Deadlift. Just got to keep working away at things. I've got a bunch of ideas for like initial game, like tutorial stuff, and I think that'll help a lot with kind of player onboarding, just so that people can understand like how all the mechanics work, like how does sound work and cones of vision, you know, just a way to kind of experiment and see that stuff in a safe environment. So I think what we're going to do for that is greatly expand this little like walk up into the elevator and make it like an actual building in here, right? So it's kind of like a little area that teaches you those mechanics without having to be so explicit about it. Because I don't want people to have to run through a big long tutorial and then they're just back to the main menu. I want the tutorial to be integrated into the actual game itself. So we're probably going to do that. But anyways, I think fortunately I need to end stream. But thank you gamers for coming in though. I need to work on more shorts. The Instagram shorts, Instagram reels for Lured In has been very, very good. Successful. Like this one got like 20,000 views, which is crazy. I need to do more of those. Yeah, there's so many things, so many comments. Anyways, go to chatting. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's stream. Be live again tomorrow. We might work on Starground tomorrow. We'll see. I am curious I've been talking with Graham and I want to hear what Graham has to say about some stuff though before I make like big Starground changes. But yeah, we need to start working on the next content update though. But anyways, who would we like to raid? Ooh, Scary Pastries playing Vintage Story. But we've raided Scary Pastry a couple times recently. It's been a while since we raided Lobby. Since we are doing a 3D game after all, perhaps a raid is in order. Tyler10, thanks for coming in. What is going on? Where's my... There it is. Let's raid Plobby. Let's go find him. Boom. And start the raid. Alright. Thank you, gamers. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 3:30 MST. Feel free to join the Discord and wishlist Lured In on Steam. And buy Starground if you want. Yeah. I will be busy working on more stuff for Lured In. Let me know, all the playtesters, if you have any feedback on more Lured In stuff. Could be just like balancing or just new features you want. Anything, literally. Yeah, because we're gearing up for public playtesting time. We're not quite there yet, but I think toward the end of March this month, I think we're going to be on track for public playtest stuff. So anyways, We're gonna go raid out. We're gonna raid Plobby. Bye, everybody. Thank you for coming. Bye.